Hi, my friends. I hope everyone is doing really great. Everyone happy, healthy, right? And having clean water and food for their needs, for their families. So, on this video, that's what we are going to talk about food, right? To be provided to everyone in all different areas of each county for all countries. So the main thing is for people that do not have food, right? And we have two parts. One part is for people that are having the notice, right, on this adjustment time, and afterwards for everyone after the organization launching day. So it will be these two different moments and different information for these two different times. Okay, so let's start with the items for people that do not have food, do not plant it, right, and do not have money. So how the families need to get food and also for free, and what they have to provide as information, what they have to do to get food for free during this adjustment time. Because we cannot have anyone hungry and we cannot have anyone uh, willing to steal food or be willing to do bad things to have food, right? In any way. So it's important for us to offer food for free as soon as possible for people that cannot afford for one reason or for another. Okay, first we will be talking about guidelines, rules and guidelines for the person to get food for free. So, every father or mother or couple that has up to $200 in a bank or cash or combine both of them, they can get food for free. I think that's a good start because for some countries might be a lot, but some countries might be really little. So I think it's more or less good. Okay, so all right. The other thing they have to be working or volunteering for up to 5 hours a day. So, if they're not working yet, they need to be looking for a job for those 5 hours every day from Monday to Friday. And for those volunteering, the same way, because if they already have money, everything they need, they also be volunteering 5 hours a day. For a family to be approved, they need to be doing that for at least one day. Because some people are already hungry for months, for years. They do not have enough food for themselves. So one day it's enough, right, for 5 hours. If they're going in the morning to pick up their food, they have to say what they did the day before. If they're going in the evening, they can say that they did that hours during the day. So for those that do not have a proper work or volunteering, they need to be applying for a job online or in person for those 5 hours. On the note that they will be given to the cashier number one, because every supermarket do have a cashier number one, even small ones, they will be saying which places they already apply. On those 5 hours, they have to say, oh, apply for this, and that, right? How many places? 2 or 4 places? How many places they did fill up the application online? And if they were walking the same way, which shops they went, which stores they went, or which educational sites they went, and fill up their paperwork online or in person, right? In a proper paper. Okay, all this information I'm already giving is only until the organization launching day. Okay, I will tell you afterwards how will be the procedure after the organization launching day. But this is for before. People that have money, they need to continue paying, for their food, but not with credit cards. Forbidden to use credit card. But if they have debit card with regular money, they have to keep paying. So this, it's only for families or for single people, or even homeless, everyone else that do not have money to pay for those groceries. Okay, if they were volunteering, only works if they are already volunteering for the Clean Water and Peace organization. Even that they do not have the proper complete information or they did not pass the test yet, but they know something, right? We need gardens. So if they're working for gardens, for their community, for example, or for any school or a park, or stores, big stores, that staff members will eat there. If they're volunteering anywhere, they have to write, I am a volunteer for the Clean Water and Peace organization. Okay? If they're doing both, they can also say, I volunteer yesterday or today for that amount of hours, and I work for that amount of hours, because work, some people are going to have adjustments. Some people can still keep their jobs, right, in some locations until their proper schedule is set up. If they're helping someone with one thing or another, okay? At this note, the person needs to write the following words. So you can say, I am a single, or I'm a mother of that amount of children, or we are a couple with that amount of children. And you're going to say, right, how many adults and how many children, teens. All right, in a simple way, the total. And then you can say, according to the number you have, 5 items per person. So I can get 10 items. I can get 20 or 25, whichever it is. Okay? And then the second thing they're going to write is if they have been working or volunteering and don't have enough, that can be, or if they are volunteering or looking for a job. And they're going to say for how long they have been doing. So I have been doing that for at least 5 hours a day. Do not need to put the total. And they're going to say what they're doing, right? If it's volunteering, working, or looking for a job. So if they are volunteering, needs to be volunteering for the Clean Water and Peace organization. Cannot be volunteering for other people. Okay? So if by any chance they work for an organization, they already have to say that they're already working for the Clean Water and Peace organization to start implementing whichever they already know for that place, like take care of animals or dogs or veterinarian or organization itself, right? A non-profit organization, I'm saying, of any type, or a thrift store or a clinic or whichever it is, okay? All right, then the third thing they're going to write, say, I really appreciate your cooperation. And they're going to put their first and last name. All right, the note can be about 10 by 10 or 10 by 15, a small piece of paper. So they're going to fold and give to the next time they will be going to the supermarket. And they will give to the cashier number 1, okay? I think that's the most sustainable and positive for everyone. It's easy, and it's also easy for the manager to be organized and tell as soon as possible the cashier number 1 and all the others as soon as possible. So when they say about their hours, even that they work 8 or 10 hours, they don't have to write that. The main thing is for them, I have been working at least 5 hours a day since yesterday or since 2 months ago or whichever, or more than a year or anything like that, okay? Okay, so it needs to be done for at least 1 day, okay? 5 hours for at least 1 day. So just to make very clear, if the person is volunteering, that's for the Clean Water and Peace Organization. If the person is working, gonna say where is working. And if the person is looking for a job, gonna say which places the person apply online or walked, right, and apply in person. Okay, this proposal is only valid for regular supermarkets. So it's not for people that have street markets that with a small amount of products, and also it's not valid for like little tiny stores. For that, little very small stores, like those that are just a few meters, 5 by 5 or even 10 by 10. So for those, I think up to 10 by 10, okay, meters. So I think that's reasonable. Two items, 2 times a week. 1 time a week. Yeah, because some countries don't have much supermarket. Okay, 1 time a week. Okay, all right. And also it's up to the owners. No, it's for everyone. Yeah, because they don't have to pay back anyways, right? For the items they're getting, such as small stores in some places. All right, so 2 items per family. Now it's not for person, 2 items per family, 1 time a week. Yeah, that's sustainable, okay? And the owners have to accept as well. Usually they just have one cashier anyways, okay? So that will be the cashier or the person right there. And for big supermarkets, will be 5 items per person, 2 times a week. It's up to 5 items per person, 2 times a week. Okay, so this seems really reasonable. Okay, after that, that's from notice day until the organization launching day. After that, volunteers for each county from all countries will be saying how much is reasonable, according to what they have and according also to the population that use that supermarket, because in some countries there are way too many people that depend on a very small amount of supermarkets, and supermarkets sometimes even far away, okay, to be sustainable. And also according what I said, some can easily go online and some people don't even know how to read and write to purchase things online for free, okay? So this statement is only up to the organization launching day. On the organization launching day, all these places will be closed so people can focus on the event itself, right? With all the activities we already said. Okay, so now I'm going to be saying what needs to be done before the person goes to pick up their items at the supermarket they're looking for. Every family can only go to 2 supermarkets, so people won't be traveling the whole city to get different food. All right? And this cannot be resold to other people. But people that are 65 or older, can make the note and everything, and a neighbor can help or a family member can help. So, and that the cashier, number 1, the person gonna say, this is for my family and this is for a neighbor or a friend of mine that's an elder, and leave both notes at the cashier, number 1. Or the person will say, this is for my house and this is for my mother's house, or something like that, okay? All right, so we are very clear. All educational sites and all the other bulk purchase, people that were purchasing before that way, They will already contact straight distribution centers, and they can also contact supermarket, but no supermarket, only distribution centers. I think that's reasonable. And they have to pay attention. They cannot purchase too much because they will be closed for 2 weeks, right? So that's very important. What they can keep, that's still perishable, but they can keep frozen, or, it will maintain for 2 weeks, like many veggies, right? If they are placed in proper bags, they will last easy. They will last for 2 weeks. So they have to watch. They cannot purchase too many salads, right? And for watering, people will already be planting the salads before this 2 weeks break, the students, teachers, right? And a few couples will be going there 3 times a week to water and check all the beds. If they already plant in too many places, they get 4 or 8 couples, whichever is needed, on proper days to be rotating, turn on, turn off, okay? So each educational site and each business owner is the best as possible ready to start planting their salads, veggies, everything before the organization launching day, and have those people, like, just to go turn on and then an hour later or so turn off, or they wait right there a little bit. And families need to go together. They have to bring their children, teens with them. Cannot leave them home. So it has to be really early in the morning or really in the evening, so the plants will have time to absorb the water before the water drains out in the morning, or before it gets night, because with sunlight they absorb more. Okay, so the family needs to do the following items before they go and pick up their items, right? The first thing they have to do is to get this email they received and send to the manager of the store or of the whole company, the corporation, if supermarkets chain, right? The big supermarkets. All right, so they send the best is to the store manager, because you're going to have an easy response, because up to 10 minutes they have to already tell that cashier number 1 and share the information with at least the corporation and one more store. They have to do that. Manager, one store manager of that same chain or another supermarket of the same city. They have to contact these 2 places, forward the email to these 2 places. All right, the other thing you're going to do, so you're going to say, I'm here sending you a notice from the Clean Water and Peace organization. It's for you to open the cashier number 1 for anyone that brings the proper note, and to get the food for free. All right, I will call in about 15 minutes to make sure you did that, so I can pick up the items. Or you can already go, wait there 15 minutes. You can do that as well. Say, because some places people don't even have much cell phone, or they don't even pay cell phone, they don't have money. So they will go tell the manager in charge, right? The store manager, because some supermarkets are way too big, they have different managers for different areas, but one is the main one, the store manager. Say by person, say, I'm gonna wait 15 minutes. While you wait 15 minutes, you can already go get your stuff. And then in 15 minutes, you come to the manager. For example, someone else of your family gonna be checking your cart or your bags. And then you go talk to the manager. Say, did you talk to the number 1? All right, then you can already pass. Okay? Just to make sure and avoid any problem, I think that is reasonable for the first time. After that, you don't need to ask the manager, of course, because the manager will already know. Okay, so You will pass at the cashier, give the note, as I already said, right? And bring your items home. You have to bring your bag. If you don't have a reusable bag, you can take one from the store this first time. Up to 2 bags per family, right? I think is reasonable. The bags they have that can be plastic or cotton, okay? If it's reusable bag, it's okay. So the manager, when forwarding the email, I have an improvement here. I'm gonna send to the owners, right, being one person or a corporation. And we also send to 5 other supermarkets. I think that's reasonable, right? 5 other supermarkets. That can be not in the same city. Yeah. So it would be total 6 emails. I think that's reasonable, right? In 10 minutes, the person can do that. Tell the cashier and forward the email to 6 people. Okay? The owners and 5 other supermarkets in other cities. And the manager also needs to talk to the cashier number 1 and also, as soon as possible, inform all cashiers. So they will already know if in case they will stay at the cashier number 1 of later or next day. And of course, for every change of duty, right, when new staff comes, they have to tell as well and tell the following manager that they received this notice, right? If they have a change in the middle of the day. The other thing the manager needs to do is to place a note at the door, right? Some people have a sliding door. People that in some countries that they do not have AC at their supermarkets, they need to put something right there at this entrance. That can be a chair with the note and a little piece of tape, or can be 2 boxes, one on the top of the other, and the notes right there. They need to put a note right at the front door, so people will already know this note. Okay? The note will be, we are no longer at COVID regulations. We are already offering food for the Clean Water and Peace Organization. Just put like that, because they cannot say like workers or staff members. For the Clean Water and Peace Organization. Yeah, you can write volunteers and staff, right? Because they will already know who is doing that. And for those that will see the note, we already ask, right? To say, what is this? What that means? Okay? So, the note will say, we are no longer at the COVID regulations, period. We are already offering food for the Clean Water and Peace Organization, volunteer and staff. We're not using staff members anymore, so that will be fine. Okay, when the person will be passing with its free food at the cashier number 1, can say, hi, how you doing, right? Say hello first, right? Look at the person's eyes and say, I can't pay for the food today. Here's my note. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Okay? I think that's fair and clear and short. I think that's reasonable. Very good. Have a great day. So they give the note, get their items and pass. People do not ring those items anymore. And the supermarket owners or managers will continue ordering what is available to them. Because soon after the organization launching day, for ships, they cannot make another trip. Wherever they go, they will stay there and unload. Okay, they cannot go back to their country even empty, or they cannot go back to get more items. For the ships that already have items, they're going to finish their trip because I think that's sustainable. right? Even that they are their own port, they will go where, so we won't waste food because that's not our objective. And distribution centers, we already see where the following food, arriving food, will go to. That needs to be to their own continent, cannot be overseas anymore. Okay? They will be going only by trucks, by train, and airplane, right? Can use planes a bit more, but not ships or boats anymore. The only exception for boats are people, villages or cities that are in the river, don't have any other access, no airplanes, right? Because some places are that, like in rainforest and places like that. So boats can bring items to them for up to those 8 weeks in the same way that the buses, trucks, and planes. Okay? So the small boats that gonna bring food on rivers for cities and villages up to 2 months, right? Needs to be up to 20 meters long. I think that's good as well, right? 20 meters. It can carry a lot of food. All the other boats, if they are cargo boats, they can be used already for fishing, if they will be selected to do that, or they will already be recycled. And if they're passenger boats, they can be used for boat parades and boat activities and so on. For the size of the boat fishing, this will be established by the organization. Everyone will know at the organization launching day, because I need more help because we have many different situations in our planet. For the food items that the families can get, they can get anything. They can get what's the most non-perishable. They can get a variety of each. So people will get things, what they think is the most important, reasonable, and what they need. But they can also get some processed items, such as oils, or like peanut butter, almond butter, all this type of butters. Yeah, people can use that. Even for some processed food that we're not going to use in the future, because we need to take those things out of the supermarket and use, like microwave food or oven food. They can get, because no more will be done, but we have already to empty out those supermarket items. Or frozen fruit, they can get that, or fruit that are cheap now, or bigger bags or smaller bags, because bigger bags they can get, for example, orange and apples or things like that. And smaller bags will be grapes, will be strawberries, right? That's also considered an item. A bag or a box is considered an item. Okay, so the other thing for the family, until the organization launching day, everyone that has money gonna keep paying the money, right? They have, but they cannot use credit card. They can only use debit card, okay? Because so the owners still have some money for those few days until the organization launching day, that everything will be free for everyone. I think that's reasonable and sustainable. The other thing, after the organization launching day, will be for all cashiers, right? So people do not need to be there anymore. Okay, all cashiers, people get what they need and go home. Of course, they have to be honest. And I think we can have little boxes, right? Or little bowls, and people gonna fold their note, so their note will be inside. Outside gonna be just the white paper or line paper. They leave the note, they continue leaving the note. and just pass with their items and go home. Nobody gonna scan the items anymore. And it's mandatory for all managers or owners to keep ordering exactly the same according if it's not from other continents. So let's do that. In the case of the plane, airplane, right? Trucks. The trucks we already, I think for everyone, I think up to, shall we do 4 weeks? And then I'll let you know if I have any improvement that. So up to 4 weeks for own continent. And 4 more weeks to own country only. I think that's reasonable, right? Because of fruits. So people are not stuck with too many fruits and others will have none. Okay? So that's very good. That's reasonable. Okay. So now let's say a few words about staff hours, right? We used to say staff members, but now it's just staff, it's enough. Staff hours, okay? So there won't be more night duties in up to 48 hours. So the managers need to inform all their staff members in writing, okay, for emails, for everyone that has email, and if anyone do not have it, they need to have a proper paper printed notice. That can be 2 per page or so with all these details. All right, depending whichever the people have. Okay. All right, they send their notes to everyone. So after those 48 hours of adjustment, everyone will start working already as possible, right? Because some need adjustment for time they need to drop off their children, little kids at the school, for example, right? Or tell the older kids they're going to go alone or be ready so they can drop off. So with adjustment, but they have to start. So will be 7 o'clock to noon or 8 to 1 o'clock. So people will be working at lunchtime. And the afternoon schedule will be 1 to 6 p.m., 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., or 2 to 7 p.m. Okay? So the 6 to 7 p.m. will be covered for those first few days for the stores, supermarkets. Okay. After and they will be, this is our work hours. So that includes the public when they can come, and also for them to have their meetings, right? All those meetings for department directors, have all the shelves replaced, right? And properly organized, and they do everything. This is so people we already get up, go supermarket, because food is something people really need, right? And after that, they're already gonna do their work hours or volunteer hours or look for a job, and they already get going on their day. So these hours I just said is for the adjustment time until a day before the organization launching day. So after the organization launching day, the hours will be almost the same. 7 to noon, work hours, and in the afternoon will be 1 to 6. Okay, 1 to 6 p.m. They will be open 2 hours in the morning for the public and also 2 hours in the evening for the public until 6. They close at 6. And if anyone is work and needs to reach the supermarket before 6, they are going to be placed in adjustment time or for the morning or for the afternoon. because we're trying the best we can to focus in people, or they can go during their lunch hours, whichever works for them. Okay, because everyone should already have their basics. Okay, so I think that's reasonable. And everyone also have the Saturday afternoon as another options to purchase their items. No supermarket, every store, everything gonna be closed Saturday morning, so people can work at the gardens. And on Sunday is optional. Okay, on Sunday is optional. For a few places, but not for food, because they have plenty of time during the week. But it's a family day, so fun places gonna be open on Sunday, as we already said, such as practices, right? Paid nature events and other places like that. Parks, of course, public places, and buses gonna be running on Sundays, and the driver is gonna go, enjoy, and come back. And another driver gonna do the same. They can stay for 2 or 4 hours with their family, come back driving, with their badge and everything. They just change their clothes and they're done. If any staff members need, you talk to the manager. Say, look, these hours really don't work for me. I need to come a little later because the school of my kids only open at 8, for example. We're gonna just this first 4 weeks of this new program, right after the organization launching day, people can just communicate because need to be sustainable, right? Look, I'm a single mom, I didn't marry yet, nobody's with me, I have a baby, or I have a preschooler or something. Okay? All right, so everyone gonna be safe and have a proper ways to do things in a good way, right? Because the objective is not to make pressure on anyone. It's to work with each other, because that's what we're doing, holding hands to help each other. Okay, and the manager gonna say, yes, sure. Okay, so even I think up to 4 weeks is good, but if it's something really, really important, even up to 8 weeks. Look, my dad or somebody, is doing this or that, or is not healthy, or whichever it is, communicate, talk. It's very important for people to be talking, because this is why we're here for. Hold hands with each other, help each other, understand each other, okay? All right. All right, for those open hours that I said, the only exception is for restaurants and cafes that are becoming restaurants. So for them, they can open Fridays, Saturdays, and vacation days until 7 p.m. I think if it's winter, right? I think that's what we said. And until 8 p.m. if it's summer months, daytime. All right, and the volunteer is going to be placing this information at their website. After the 28 weeks, we are going to let you know at the website if the maximum will be 7 or 8, but I think 8 o'clock is reasonable, and people are going to be working really close to their homes, and if they have grandparents at home, or if they are young adults and have no children yet. So those are the people that can work that 8 o'clock hour. All right. 8 o'clock, they close. They have to close for the public and for themselves. So all the basics will already be organized. So people are not going to be cleaning from 8 to 9 p.m. So as they will receive their clients, they will already be washing, cleaning, right? Organizing, bathroom, kitchen, So the next morning, then they can complete details, mop details or wash the bathroom, more details when nobody will be there. Okay, that's for restaurants and cafes. All right, for the hours open to the public. So supermarket, nurseries, or stores, construction items will be the same, 7 to 9 a.m. If they have clients. In the case of the supermarkets, they can be closed during this time because nobody will be purchasing anything that early. They have is already to take their breakfast and go to school. So restaurants and cafe won't be open 7 to 9 a.m. Okay, and then in the afternoon they will be open, as I already said, 4 to 7 or 4 to 8. I think 4 is really. The banks, in the same way, 7 to 9 a.m. open and 4 to 6 p.m. open. And during the day, they are already going to be organizing what they're going to be doing, have their meetings with department directors, because after the organization day, we're going to be zeroed down, right, all the accounts. But they can continue answering the phone because some people might not know yet what, details. And they have to empty out because some people pay for those safety boxes, I guess. It's the name used. So they can go pick up those items and any other information that's needed. And they will already clean up their paperwork and their computers, as indicated by the organization. And for the meetings, they also will call the community and follow the same guidelines as done for the religion. So people from all nearby educational sites will be informed. And the best, they will have everything else, like up to 48 hours to have these 10 or 20 couples from each educational site, right? And make sure from the university they have an engineer and also construction companies, right? Owners from any of these educational sites. So they can make the basic arrangements. And then they will already decide, and everything else in the same way was said for the religious meeting. They have to have that paper, get signatures. Usually depends how big is the bank, right? Some bigs are a whole huge building, and some are very small, like in small cities, right? So they already have to get signatures of people working there, the leaders, like the managers, the corporation owners, and things like that. Okay, and then they will start doing the remodeling, as I already said for the religious video. Okay, so the supermarkets, everything will stop for 2 weeks. So we have to see for farmers to don't harvest salads that are too soft for that time, so we won't waste. Or they harvest quick, the most as they can, for people to already be on time at supermarket so people will get it before they close for 2 weeks. Or they wait, right? Depending on the situation of the salads and herbs, because we don't want to waste food. It's very important. For everything else, I think that's durable, can be taken before or after. I think that's manageable and easy to do. And many distribution centers already have the refrigerators and everything. Okay? So I forgot, the manager of the supermarkets or owners also need to tell at least 4 distributors, right? Food distribution centers. So they would know as well and contact the farmers. Okay? So everyone gonna know in a fast way and reach the most people as possible. So for those 2 weeks, every everywhere will be closed, right? And the people need to get their food before or after. And and the owners of supermarkets, if they have fruit that won't last for those 2 weeks, they will be motivating people. Please get this, please get that, right? Like salads and some types of fruits, so they won't waste anything, okay? And if needed, they can give more than 5 items per person, like I said before, just so it won't waste. People can bring home, because for 2 weeks they will be closed as well. And I forgot to say, they also can get once a week toilet paper, right, hand soap, and clothes detergent, and salt, right? The salt's part of food, that's okay, but those other things are separate. Okay, the toilet paper, whichever they have, it can be 4 rows or 8 rows or 6 rows, whichever they have. To be reasonable, they can make a little note and put according to how much they believe it's good, right? Okay, so the distribution center also will focus on these salads and fruits that can easily perish, and send them the most as possible. If anyone gets fruits that people won't take, they have too many of it, they put in bags and freeze, okay? And they have to communicate with each other. Who has freezers? The distribution centers or the supermarkets? So we won't waste any fruit, because many fruits can be frozen that way, like berries, many of them. Okay, here's an improvement, So, for food, the supermarkets and the distribution centers will be open that second cleanup week, right? And just for these 2 hours in the morning, the distribution center don't need to be open if they don't have food that will be wasted. But if they have, they have to work, so they can bring those foods to the supermarket, okay? And the supermarket will be open those 2 hours every day, Monday to Friday, on the second week. Okay, the other thing that we will already put in place is the hygiene, and masks. So, from this day of notes, forbidden to use or ask for others to use COVID mask. Because that's the notice, right? End of COVID. Okay? So, for hygiene, they will already be using the new practices. Wash their hands 20 seconds, then they have to wash one hand nail for 10 seconds, and then the other hand nails for another 10 seconds, okay? And no gloves anymore, all these things. And people will also already be asked to have their health exams, and people will be trying to put those people that already have their clear exams, doctor clear exams, working with salads, fruits, and vegetables, and the others with non-perishable items. The other thing that we will stop in up to 2 weeks, because that's the most things we're doing is 2 weeks, it's for all prepared food. So, because probably they already purchase a lot, have people already working for those things. So I think 2 weeks is reasonable. And after that, they won't be producing food at own stores. So, for example, people that prepare salads or cook food, right? So they're gonna already stop. And also about fish and meat, they will also stop coming from other countries in the same way as I said before, right? If it's ship, they come, that load, and no more will be brought. And if it's by airplane, trucks, they can stay their own continent. On the same time, same number of weeks I said before. So for the fish, will be up to 2 weeks, I think is reasonable, okay? So the producers will already stop or continue in other locations, depend how it is, but won't be sending far away anymore. And for the meat, while they're coming, they're gonna be sold whichever time will be. Because some farms have thousands of cows, for example, all right? So production of milk will stop straight away, but not the production of meat. Okay, as they're coming, they will continue to be sold. And for wildlife, right, that is on the extinction list, if people want to eat those items, they can eat those items, such as alligators, mammals, right? They can eat because people will be praying for them, getting them, and bringing to people that want to eat them. Turtle eggs and things like that. If they found, they're fine to get it from the beaches, right? Beaches of rivers, of different turtles, or beaches of the ocean. They can eat those eggs. Okay, for the bakery, I think the most sustainable. So I think the most sustainable is for the distribution center to stop making the flour, right, for everything that's already possible. And what can be eaten, the grain itself. Okay? So they will be selling, giving actually, the grain and not the flour. But for the flour that cannot be sold in grain, such as the plain wheat, because some can be cut and make like tabbouleh, right? Depending on the grain it is. But if they have no other option, that's okay. They will continue selling the flour for people to make, bakeries to make bread, and then stop the production of that. So let's say 2 or 4 weeks they have to stop. I think that's reasonable. So people will have just a little bit more of bread, and then after that no more. So they have up to 4 weeks to stop making the wheat flour, right? And the other flours, let's say up to, it needs to be up to 4 weeks because people are gonna lose their stoves, right? Their stoves gonna be sent to recycling. Up to 4 weeks. And after that, people will have the proper grains and cook on the stoves, not on the oven, sorry. They will lose the ovens and will have only stoves. So they can cook the grains for the regular meals. That's reasonable. So everyone gonna have bread only up to 4 weeks after the organization launching day. The produce will be the same. So for soft salads and herbs will be up to 8 weeks. Everyone will be harvesting by that time. Okay? And after that, only for hard veggies and fruits and things like that. And they will follow the same instruction. If they come by ship, they're done right there. If they come by airplane, can be up to 4 weeks. Airplane, truck, the small ships in small rivers I told you. Okay, so I think I cover everything or almost everything. For any detail, any adjustment, we are going to put at the website. Okay? So now I have to say, use the opportunity to say that another requirement for the families are they cannot go on family cars. To get this food for free, they cannot afford family cars. Okay? They can also don't use the food stamps card, right? Some countries offer, like United States, they cannot use that. Or they do one or they do the other. They can use their food stamps card still, right, to purchase roots, things to plant, or food. But they cannot do both to be sustainable for those weeks until the organization launching day. After the organization launching day, all the food stamp cards, like debit card, won't be used anymore. So to be reasonable and fair with everyone. And the family cars, they have to already send to a recycle center. They cannot have cars at home or anywhere or be using them. Okay, so that's another requirement. They can walk or take urban buses, whichever they need, because that's reasonable. For the churches that are closing down, if it's also reasonable, they can get one of the verandas, one of the places, and have food there. Because some people, even in some countries, need to take 2 buses to go to the supermarket because it's really far away. Or the buses come so packed up at the end of the day that no one else will fit the buses. So those will be adjusted with time, so everyone will have spaces on these buses to get and go home. But it might make sense to contact distribution center and farmers so they can distribute also in rural areas, and people don't have to go to the city to have supermarket because they won't have cars, just to be more reasonable. Once the farmers will be right there, right nearby. And also no motorcycles and things like that. Bikes, I think it's reasonable to use up to 4 weeks. Okay? Until that, the pickup day. After the pickup day, of course, they cannot use anymore because the day is the day. But they can use up to 4 weeks. And then they bring to a recycle center. All right, so now I have a few words about jobs that maybe are not wanted, right? But is there available and needed. Maybe in some places can be bus drivers or trash pickup and things like that. So what happens is, or subway or trains, and other positions as well. Like for construction, some areas that maybe people don't want so much. But that is the agreement. So people that are going to an appointment or something, they have to check online for the companies that offer that transportation, the subway, the train or bus. And they're going to see how many jobs are needed, how many job positions, right? So if they see that's too many, they have to check, or they walk, or they offer themselves to work for the company on their work hours, because buses won't be available and people are not going to take hours cover for other people that, job positions that no one is filling up that position. Okay, so for these job positions, the idea, if anyone is capable after 4 weeks, they will be called by the organization to fill up that spot. For the most reasonable people that can fill up that position. Okay, because people need to work in one way or another. So if they don't choose a job themselves, they will be chosen. Okay? So if the person, now it's for appointment, the person misses an appointment, they're going to have their consequences, right? And instead of paying money, if they didn't say at least 24 hours ahead, they have to pay with points, PSAP points. And people that are late or people that miss appointments will have their consequences. For people that do not have a job or want to change a job, they have to be fast with their basic training, and they can complete the training after. For many positions, some of them no, some of them they need a complete, like drivers, they need a complete training, of course, right? Okay, so they will be working on the area they want, so they can choose the job instead of being chosen. Okay, those hours that I place, right, for the morning and evening, for supermarkets and everything else, I think that's reasonable. But after the organization launching day, the volunteers of each county gonna give proper details. Why is that? Mine is a base, but they can change a little bit. Because as I said, for example, here in the United States, we have way too many supermarkets. Every block we have one, or every other block. They're all over, right? In most of the places. But in some countries, it's, in rural areas, for example, it's every many kilometers for one supermarket. So the volunteers, after the organization launching day, the volunteers gonna get organized, the headquarters assistant teams for every university will check and already will be given answers, what's the most sustainable for each county. And we'll have the information online. Okay, that's reasonable. All right. So we won't have problems, and also according to the amount of things, because in some countries people purchase too many things, right? And some others they have almost nothing, right? Less variety of things. Okay? So everyone, according to the items that will be arriving, where they're coming from, will be sharing in a reasonable way with everyone that do not have their own harvest yet. So during these first 4 weeks to find a job, and people need to go fast and get one, so it's for a start job, right? But people can change their job during these 28 weeks, because some jobs will need a lot of extra people right now and less afterwards, and some will be the other way around. So for example, for jobs related to construction items for sale. So during these 28 weeks, you're going to need a lot of people, extra people for deliveries, drop-offs, bringing from distribution centers, and so on. But afterwards, it's going to be really, really little and very seldom, only by orders. Okay. And some other jobs, as I said, might be the opposite way. For example, for English now, or for teachers, for right now, we will need a lot of people at adult education, and afterwards, less people. So, and we are going to have help everywhere that's needed, from elders 65 years old and older, to cover everything that's needed, such as for now, we need a lot also of security guards for cameras, right? Security guards to check documentation. So we need a lot of these people right now. So that's the only way, is to get all these, even teens that are going well at school, they can work with their parents to get things going. because a lot of families that need attention to guide them, to prepare them for moving, right? To receive the ones that are already healthy, teach English to those that do not know yet, play games, teaching them English, and everything else, okay? So elders gonna be helping, all elders gonna be helping at least 2 times a week if they are 80 years old and older. I think that's reasonable. If they're healthy, want to work 4 days, that's fine. And for everyone up to 80 years old, up to 79 years old, yeah, that's better, 79 years old, they're gonna help if they're healthy, right? Yeah, of course. If they're healthy, they're gonna have 4 times a week. Okay? All right. I think that's reasonable, and if any elder cannot do those 2 or 4 days, they will write a letter and give to their department director of their residential community. So they will have better communication, such as they have a health issue, they have to do more workout hours or something, I don't know. If something really important, they cannot do those 4 hours, they will do 2 hours, 2 days, I mean. The other thing is that every county, every city, country, state won't have any nicknames of any type. Everyone is mandatory for them to say their proper names, okay? And we're also not going to do jokes from state to state. Oh, this people is like this people is like that, or people that are from big cities, right? To make jokes with those that live in rural area and so on. So this way we will be respectful with all these things as well. Now, if the supermarket owner or supermarket manager, for example, they see that one specific product won't be enough of this quantity that I'm saying, people are getting too much or they don't have enough delivery for one reason or another, such as toilet paper, for example, or whichever it is the item, right, or fruits, okay. So they're going to put a note, they can do that. Only one per family, or they're gonna write a note so everyone will have a little bit, but all the families will have a little bit. And that note will be for people that are paying and also for people that are having for free. So, for example, they can say up to 4 toilet papers per week per family, or or they can put a note like you can bring, if there really a lack of toilet paper, they can have the soft paper napkins to be used as well, right? They can just write a note if something is really important, or fruits, or herbs, or salads, right? So people will have enough and everyone will have a little bit and share those items. The other thing is like for special items such as eggs or, or chicken or fish that's available. And they can do the same thing. If they think it's sustainable, they can make a note. And people cannot bring a bunch of one item. For example, get a bunch of fish, imported fish or something, a bunch, and not other items. Those items that are for free, it's for people to get one of each or maximum 2 of each of those items, but not to pack up and just get those items. And they're not for sale, as already said. Okay, so I think I got everything covered, and if anything else come up, you will be able to see at the organization launching day. We'll have everything right there, the website. Okay? All right. At the website, we also will have like people to give any feedback, if it's negative or positive, and try to be the most objective as possible. Okay? So it's a place people can type and they also can call. It is mandatory for every place to have a phone number. That can be WhatsApp or can be a wall number until proper phone numbers will be already given to all businesses of all types. Okay? But they have to be placed at their website. Every location, not the corporation number, but every location need a proper number. All right, so thank you so much for attention, and let's work and get organized and ready for the organization launching day for a new life for everyone. Have a wonderful and blessed week, and I talk to you soon. Here's Goiana Ferreira from the Clean Water and Peace Organization, and for now I am the International Director. Thank you. See you soon. The other thing I didn't say is for stores that sell objects, they have to close down completely until everything is cleaned up. And for clothes, they're gonna open just these hours, the same hours, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. And all the other hours, they will be already taking out all the other items that are not authorized. So for those stores, they will also be already sending their objects to recycle or to trash. They will already, for the clothes, they can put for hiring proper sewing couples that will be improving the new clothes to be as part of the dress code, improving here and there the best as possible for now, so they won't throw away those clothes. Okay, and they can put the information on their website, hiring. Okay, they can also make a small sign in the size of a printing paper, white, regular printing paper, and they can place at the store door or in a place that is people can see, right? People that will come or pass by can see. The other thing, they will be already having those meetings, right? Because some stores, department stores, for example, they are huge now, and they will be much smaller. So they will already be arranging shelves and be smaller, because many items won't be sold anymore. Okay, and for those things, they can hire if they need. Everyone gonna work for free, but hiring is a term that we're gonna continue using. So, and they will have this meeting, the meetings for the 10 department directors, if that location will have one. They also need to have gardens, plant gardens, depend how big they are, to offer food. Okay, and for offering food, each to be sustainable, I think it's for every place that will have 10 or more staff members working, or even 5. I will give an answer afterwards on that, but it will be 5 or 10, at least 5 or 10, they have to offer some type of food, salads, nuts, fruits, or something, okay? Because that will be reasonable, so people won't depend only on educational side to be planting lunch for everyone, for example, or afternoon early dinner, in the places that need it right now at this 28 weeks. Okay? All right, so this detail will let you know afterwards, but everything else, they have to plant gardens anyways, and then they will see which neighbor gonna have, because some department stores are part of a mall. some whole malls gonna be remodeled, and some others that are not so big can continue. So for malls, we will give basic information, but some cities are very big, 1 million inhabitants or even more, right? So some malls can continue, and who will give the final answer on that are the volunteers, the organization volunteers, from the university, the headquarters assistant teams. So they will already give a proposal to all malls, because some malls are way too big in places that are not really much populated, and they can have some remodeling for educational sites. Some places have, for example, way too many fast food, way too many restaurants, and so on. So they will be the ones that will be already telling, and already give the proposal, as I said at the religious video. They will be doing the same for all these other places that will be closing down. Fast food, places with negative items such as tobacco, nicotine, alcoholic drinks, pharmacies, right? All these places will already be closing down. And the cafes that has to become something else, or a proper restaurant, right? With salads and so on. Okay, so they will make the headquarters assistant teams that are university teachers. The students can help them to, organize all these details, but their final answers will be from them, and they will already send information to everyone. Okay, the notice from the headquarters assistant teams will be placed at each county website, and also they're in charge to send emails to all these companies. You will be this, you will be that. Okay, because that count, even that the community will be coming to see what's the most needed, the final answer needs to be from those university teachers that will evaluate what the community is asking, what the community needs, but they will be taking the decision. Okay? And as I said, for counties that do not have university and do not have a college, they already, the university, the closest university that, for example, will be the county neighbor, will make the decision for them as well. And all their students will be helping them. So they need to be there for that first meeting. Remember the community meeting that they will invite 10 or 20 couples from each of those 4 educational sites. And they also need to be part with the engineers and so on. Instead of 2 engineers, as I said, the religious meeting will be 4. So 2, I think it's not enough. We need 4 to sign that approval. That can be teachers of any level, as soon as we have 2 PhD teachers, right, on the engineering area. I think that's sustainable to check the work of that others did or they did themselves. So we have 4 signatures of engineers, capable and that have the certification they are engineers. The other place I didn't mention are bakeries themselves. They're all going to be closed down as well, right? After those up to 4 weeks, right? Up to those 4 weeks, they can sell their items, bread or grains. After that, they have to donate everything and close, right? I think that's reasonable. I think it's reasonable up to 8 weeks for bakeries to be selling their bread, because if they're gonna sell all this grain, people can't use. If they sell as flour, people won't be having ovens anymore, right? And for them to cook all these things on stoves, it might be a little harder. So let's do bakeries can close with 4 weeks or 8 weeks. So we have an option there because the main thing is for people to have food available. Okay? All right. And for processed food, such as microwave food and all that stuff, in 2 weeks, the producers need to stop. But the supermarkets will keep selling until they are available. I think that is reasonable. Okay, my friends, so thank you so much for your attention. Please share this information with everyone you know in all places that you can, being at work, being friends, family, co-workers. Okay? All right, have a very productive and positive week, and I talk to you soon. Okay, the other thing is that for food banks and food distribution, they have up to 4 weeks and 2 days. I think that's reasonable because they have time, because some of them give food once a month and some in other schedule, but no more than once a month. So they have plenty of time to give the food they have and don't accept new food anymore. And already after these 4 weeks, so they have all their storage about empty by that time. And for these extra 2 days, for them to distribute the food, they can already tell during the whole month, let's say 5 weeks, 5 complete weeks. So they will say, look, if you want something, we're going to empty everything on this following week. And they will say the day. From that day to that day, what we have, we will give, share the people that show up every morning the same hours, just 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. After than that, people will already be working by themselves, just to be easy, instead of having people all day long. Because they also need to have their meetings, their cleanup, and, be contacting people, so supermarkets, so they won't be sending items. Okay, the supermarkets need to sell their items. If they have anything that is getting old, they have to put on a front and people have to get them. Okay, instead of sending to food banks, because it's not sustainable to have food banks anymore. Okay, so 5 weeks is really reasonable. They will be already explaining to everybody of the new practices and already telling everyone they have to plant food. Okay, because many things gonna be stopped to be served. It is mandatory for everyone to plant their food, and in up to 1 week start planting. 1 week of notes, start planting. So they have to figure out. For people that have land, they have to start their own land if they own their property. For people that's still renting, they have to contact the owners, if it's apartment or housing, but there is land available, right? They have to contact the owners, get written authorization, with at least the owner, one more testimony, can be the spouse or son, daughter, or co-worker, whichever it's possible. Okay, so they have up to 8 days to plant their food. If they cannot get their frame, the wooden frame on time, it's okay, they can put afterwards, but they need at least 4 bags of soil, right? Each family needs that. And at least 4 different seeds. They can purchase or ask neighbors or go to that Saturday afternoon that for up to 8 weeks gonna be every Saturday in different parks. So every park will have twice a month, but every seed you're gonna have every Saturday gonna have in one park or another, one of those places they distribute for free seeds and the plant themselves, right? Fruit trees and everything else, herbs and so on, rhizomes. Okay, all right. So they need to have at least 4 bags of soil. Okay, without the styrofoam. They can have perlite, that's okay, but no styrofoam. Okay, at least for seeds, they're gonna plant veggies or dark greens or, red sprouts they got from someone, neighbors. Okay, they start that. Okay, all right. And of course, already joining the meetings of the 10 department directors to start, who is applying for the position. They have to join those meetings at their residential community because they're part of that. If they're going to be assistant or helpers of the assistant, or if they're going to be the leaders, right, the directors themselves, they have to join those meetings, and be part of the planning team, where Big Tree is gonna go and so on. Okay, all right. And for the gardens, they just will do the best they can, but they have to start in 8 days. So the department director is gonna have meetings and already tell people where's the sunny area, right? And the fruit trees on the back, so won't block the sun. Basic things like that. The water to be installed. If for any reason, this is for residential communities that already exist, right? And for others, like people that are building new lands, I already said they're gonna plant by the village where and then plant the real gardens by the new construction apartments afterwards. Okay, all right, my friends, and any adjustment in between will be made by the headquarters assistant teams that are university teachers that are gonna have all the details completed for everything that I'm not saying right now. So all the handbooks will be really properly written for everyone to know and have guidance on how to proceed. Okay, I think now I'm ready. Thank you so much and you have a great week. Okay, I have some words now about the pharmacies because they are closing down as well. Okay, there's a few other places that I'm already gonna say a few words about. All right, for the natural medicines, natural pharmacies, right, such as for Ayurveda items and powder of different items. So while they're having supplies, they can continue making them in capsules such as turmeric powder, vitamins, protein shakes, and so on. Okay, their producers gonna be contact because while the farmers have items to be sold, they can still offer because many people gonna need those items to boost their immune system and anti-inflammatory items, and they're natural, so they can keep going. Offering their products. Okay, so afterwards we will say until when they can sell these items because the idea is for people as soon as possible to be planting their own things and using their own home remedies, let's say. Okay, so we will say if it's up to 28 weeks because I think that's the most reasonable, or if we're gonna continue a little longer. All right, for the synthetic medicine, pharmacies of synthetic medication, they will also have 24 hours from notice time to take everything that's not authorized, such as makeup, items for hair, and these extra things that like medication that's not approved, feet powder, for example, and all these other items. Diapers that are not reusable, right? Disposable diapers. Disposable feminine paddings. They can only sell tampons made out of cotton and things like that. Okay. Other medication, such as medication for lice, antibiotic, and things like that, they can sell a little longer. So, the number of weeks will be given by the organization headquarters assistant teams according to what is needed at each county. Because some cultures already have this work of knowing about home remedies, and also they are not dependent of synthetic medication. But for other places, they might need some vaccines, such as Africa and Asia, right? So according to what's needed and detailed information, the type of medication, we will let you know afterwards. But of course, for everything that's not authorized, they will already take it out. Both pharmacies, the natural one and the synthetic one, can sell sunblock. Okay, more natural or the regular, with more chemicals. But no more will be produced. But while they're coming in, they can sell to the public. Both of them can still sell the vitamins they have because they are needed, and while supplies come, they're gonna pass on and the public can still get it. All the pharmacies gonna have taken out the bad items, of course, that is in up to 10 minutes, right? The alcoholic drinks, like here in Florida, right? Walgreens, CVS, they sell alcoholic drinks right there beside the pharmacy. And all candies that are not big candies, the very small candies, they have to take out, gums, and things like that. So for allergies, both pharmacies can still sell things, and for other needs as well. Why is that? Because our objective, as I said, is not to hurt anyone. It's for people to be slowly replacing, for them to be sustainable with their new practices. Okay, according to the videos that they're gonna watch, but they need an appointment at their doctor. So all this we'll need time. We need days for people, for everyone to have their appointments. Some people are not even on their countries yet. They have to arrive, have an idea about the city. So it's a lot for some people, right? And some gonna be taken out straight away because they're really useless or they hurt something else more than the treat. And some places do not have natural pharmacies for people to go and get the medication they need, such as capsules of garlic or capsules of turmeric and so on. So a proper list will be made by the headquarters assistant team, and in up to 24 hours they have to take out all these items. For the disposable, I already said, it's 10 minutes from notice time. And the candies as well, the small candies, okay? If they have regular bigger candies, such as with chocolate or coconut, they have cookies, okay? They can continue selling them but no more will be delivered at those pharmacies. The distribution center is going to sell items like that to the supermarket and not to pharmacies anymore. The other thing is that many pharmacies will be completely closed down because some place like here in Florida, we have one every other block. It's amazing how many synthetic allopathic medicine we have, pharmacies we have here in Florida. So what we're going to do? They are going to close completely according to the headquarters assistant team. So they will be saying for each county which one's going to be open for a few more months and which one's going to close down completely. Okay? The idea is to have very small pharmacies, like one room, like let's say 5 by 5 or so, or maximum 10 by 10 with everything the population will need. 10 by 10. Very small pharmacies beside, right at the same plaza. They have to be at the same plaza. Why? The person go there, need the medication. It's right there, beside them. If they need the vaccine, it's right there at the clinic, right? So they will have the things right there. And they already get an order, at the same plaza and get it done. So all non-authorized items, synthetic allopathic medication, will be already disposed. And for the ones that are really important, such as cholesterol, diabetes, antibiotics, right? Painkillers, they will continue on their shelves. And we will let you know if it's up to 20 weeks, because I think that's, let's say about 20 weeks. Shall we do that? So people will have plenty of time to get adjusted. After that, it's only for the authorized items, including vaccines. The vaccines, they will be taken at the clinic, right? Those small clinics. But I think that's reasonable, okay? And for people, because for pain, I'm sure people can improve themselves in 20 weeks. The only exception will be like diabetes and anything else that the headquarters assistant team thinks is important can add as well. They can continue to take them, purchase them, until the end of the 28 weeks. After that, they have two options. Or they are really healed with proper nutrition, workout, and all these things that will be guided to them, or they have to go to the renovation program with electric chair and born again, because we're not going to have this going on for many years because it's not sustainable. What will continue are the vaccines, right? Other medication that's really important, okay? We are not going to have painkillers anymore unless the person has a surgery. For authorized surgeries such as no, they don't have painkillers anymore. After 28 weeks, no painkiller. Because the very little surgeries will be made in people who will be taken antibiotic if needed, but not painkiller. Unless the doctors, the headquarters assistant team let me know, it's fine with me if they think that's really important. But as far as I know, the surgeries people will have are the breasts, right, to diminish those that are too long, What else? Cataracts for the eyes, a few things like that. So I believe they don't need a painkiller because, like, even for tooth, nobody will be extracting teeth anymore. It's mandatory for people to get used to go to the doctor, the dentist, get it done. And be there for checkup every 6 months. So once a year with proper exams and every 6 months for a checkup and cleaning. Okay, so no one gonna need teeth extraction, for example, or no operations, body operations or pin to be placed. If the person really hurt themselves too much, they already will be and cannot be fixable, right? They're not going to put pins on their body. They're going to life renovation program with electric chair and born again right there at the clinics, right? They have the baby and they born right there a few minutes after and renew life. For the mechanics, the same way. So they have to close down the 20 minutes up to 20 minutes of notice time. So this way, whichever they are doing, they have time and they're gonna start calling their clients and close the door. They can put a little note at the door, we are not on COVID practices anymore, or COVID practice was canceled, and our store is not open to the public anymore. Okay, we are only open for authorized businesses, vehicles, to fix business vehicles. Why is that? Because family cars cannot come anymore, but they still offering, right, for some authorized business. The people needs to bring authorization, such as distribution centers that will still use in their trucks and things like that. Okay, so that's for mechanic. For gas station now. Gas station for business owners with authorization that show them the card of authorization, such as those I just mentioned, that's okay. And for family cars will be canceled. Okay, will be some gas stations closing completely. Those that close completely, they need to take out their tanks, the gas tanks, right, from underground. Okay, all right. So that's very important. So basically is that. I think we covered a few more things that will be really useful. The other thing is that for office material, such as staples, right? Office Max and so on. They will also be open 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. All these places going to be open this way because people really have to work a lot to organize meetings to do, so they have time without clients coming in and out the whole day. So for those office stores, right, they're going to be selling what's authorized and already be placing the rest on sent to recycle centers. Okay, and what they can sell? They can sell paper that's not painted. They can sell, according to the videos I placed, was one of the first one, will give all the details what they can do. But basically they can continue selling notebooks, but no more printers, no more shredders, no more, and they can sell only the transparent pen and just can order more of those. Okay. Eventually they are going to close anyways, because those items will only be sent and purchased online, because they're going to have a very few items. It's like supermarkets. Eventually they will be closed, right, during these 28 weeks. And for each place will be done in the same way. People can purchase the items while it's available, but the headquarter assistant teams will be saying exactly the week they will be closing, because that I think is reasonable. Sorry, they won't close, but they will be small because they won't be selling too many items. So people have different places to work, have different places to go, right? So they're going to sell very few items, but they're going to continue open. I think that's the most sustainable, right? For all offices of all types. But supermarkets will eventually close for sure before the end of the 28 weeks, because it's mandatory for everyone to be planting their own food. Okay? All right. And veterinarians, dentists, doctors, all these places will be open in a regular time during the whole day, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So during lunch they have two options. Or they have this other team that is 8 to 1, right? Or they just close down for lunchtime. But during these 28 weeks, they cannot close down during this 1 hour lunch, because people might be a little late to leave, people might arrive a few minutes early and need paperwork to be done and things like that. People cannot fill out their forms in plastic laminate forms, because those can be easily deleted. They have to fill up their information proper paper, and then the office can scan the information and have it at their chart. So they will keep the paper form and the online form. Every clinic, for doctor and for dentist. And also for the veterinarian. Everyone can keep the dogs for up to 14 years, and no more dogs will be available, because people did too many artificial inseminations. It's not a positive thing for us at all. So up to 14 years of age, and then they all will be going to life renovation program if they're still alive. If they have any health problem, they also need to go severe health problem. They have to go to the life renovation program, okay, with incineration. Okay, so the dogs, everyone can have dogs up to January 1st, 2034. Okay, so they will have almost, 14 years. But I think that's sustainable. It's positive. It's enough of time for people to be praying for them to start born as humans, guiding them, train them, and talk to them, and so on. Okay? Okay, in another video we'll be talking about animal farming, right? And what we're gonna do with it and how will be done. All gyms will be closed up to 24 hours, so they can tell the people, close down and start cleaning up. All tanning companies will be also closed down in up to 20 minutes, right? Up to 10 minutes, because it's really not needed. In 10 minutes, for no new clients, right? And for the ones that already started, they complete, and then they go home, cannot come back anymore. And after that, the people that work there are going to start already cleaning up the machines and so on, because another business will be placed there or remodeled for housing, depending on the headquarters assistant team assigned for them to be. So all educational sites will plant food before they're closed for those 2 weeks, where people are going to be watering, right? And after that, it's mandatory for them to open up all the previous existing educational sites. And for those that don't have enough land, will be more like for preschools, because they eat less and need to plant less food. And for larger ones, will be regular schools or colleges, university. We're not using the word college anymore, because in many countries it's used only the term university for all the school years of adults. So that will be enough and plenty for us. So it's university for all, from bachelor's, that's the order, right? Bachelor's, associates, master's, and PhD. We change those first two. Okay, so I think we're getting now thrift stores will be the same, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening. Flea markets the same, right? And Saturday afternoon they can open as well, but no Sunday once it's not needed. And for every one of all these plazas, flea markets, and street markets, they will stay open only for items that are positive. So no stores for objects and things like that they're not needed or not sustainable. Jewelry and gonna be really just a very few, so they can sell in other stores. Okay? All right. And for all negative stores and producers, we will have another email about that. Okay, my friends, I think finally now we got it. So thank you so much for attention, and I talk to you soon. Hi, my friends. So it's very important for people, individuals or families that are getting food for free from supermarkets to have the owner's or the manager authorization first before they pass on a cashier with their food items, okay, to make sure, so they won't have problems afterwards. And if you talk to a manager and you go in again another day, because you can go twice a week, make sure the manager on duty already know about this as well, just for these first weeks, until many people will already be doing that, okay? So you all covered, and make sure. All right. If you have an email back with their answer, it will be even better, because then you have a proper documentation about the notice you sent by email and a notice you received back to have you covered against any problem. Okay, so you will be safe in all ways. All right, my friends, have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Okay, the other thing that's very important for people that are applying to get free food is to say a few words on the email, because then, or talk to them in person, but the best an email, because then they will already have the answer right away. They can also talk in person and send the link of this video afterwards. Okay? And if the person agree right there, get the food right there and go. And for the managers that are receiving this video, So the first part of this video, it is about them, right? The manager or the owners giving authorization. And they can, as soon as they see just that first few sentences, right, that you wrote, they can authorize you. But they have to watch this video. This video takes almost 2 hours. So it's important for them to watch and understand all the details, how things will be done as soon as they can and forward the email. So the right way, it should be the sentence right in the beginning, forward first, and then, you authorize people to get the food, and then they can check the email to see any detail, if they are doing the right way. Managers that can, we already give the authorization themselves. Managers that cannot have this authority, of course, they have to talk to the owners and make sure they can do that. Okay? So everything will be done properly in a right way. Okay, I think now I covered it all. Thank you so much. Have a great productive day.